Hey there, everyone. Welcome to episode 940 of the Mike from Maine show, the place where we do daily interviews with successful online entrepreneurs. This is your host, Mike Thomas, and today on the show, we've got Brett Rutecki on, and we're going to be talking about our powerful new software and done-for-you system that's going to allow you to make the money that webinars make. I'm sure you've heard that webinars are super profitable without ever having to actually do a webinar yourself. That's right, everything is 100% done for you, including the actual webinar presentations, the delivery, even the products that you sell. Let's get into it. Here's Brett. We are here today with Brett Rutecki. Brett, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Mike.
Brett, as always, whenever I do interviews with you, I'm not going to pretend that I don't know what the product is because we are launching it together. It's called Autonars. We're really excited about it. But the reason why we're doing this interview today is so that we can kind of talk you guys through and let you understand it a little bit better, why we created it, why we put in so much effort into this one. And I can honestly say that it wasn't just Brett this time that put in a lot of work into this. It was me as well. As a joint effort. So we're really proud of this, really excited to share this with you all today. Brett, like I usually do, I'm going to go ahead and read off the headline for this just to kind of bring people into it. It says here, new software puts our $100,000 per year income stream on total autopilot. Our new software is going to allow you to copy our results without ever needing to run a webinar yourself, with everything done for you. And if it wasn't you, Brett, I would say that our headline was a little bit hypey, and I would make you kind of explain that to us. And I'd also say that webinars are one of those things that I know a lot of our customers, when they see the word webinar, they run away scared because webinars are a little bit scary, or maybe a lot bit scary. Bring us in, tell us a little bit about this and why you initially created this.
So I actually initially created webinars for maybe a different reason than why people are going to want it as well. Because as you know, when we create stuff, we generally build it for our own business first, and then it kind of evolves over time as we use it. It becomes something more, usually something more than what the original vision was. And I think that's the case with Autonars. I originally created Autonars more as a helper for webinars because we were doing webinars and we were making a lot of money with webinars, but we had a lot of issues. I mean, we're in different time zones. It's late at night for you. It's early in the day for me. Sometimes we have tech issues. Sometimes we can't get people to attend because we're trying to do them at a certain time when both of us could be on and people have lives, they couldn't show up. So the initial idea of creating Autonars was so that way we can run our webinars consistently over and over again, evergreen, and get sales automatically. The idea being we create the presentation once and then we have the webinar running every single time. I always kind of hated the whole concept of people signing up for a webinar as well. I always thought that was really weird. People go to a page, they sign up for a webinar, they're ready, they're interested in what you got, they're interested in your product. And what do you say to them? Okay, well, come back next week.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so silly. The analogy I like to use is going into a car dealership. Imagine walking into a car dealership. You say, look, I'm here to buy a car. And the manager comes out and says, cool, come back next week.
Yeah, give us your name and your number and come back later. And you're like, well, I'm here to maybe buy it now. No. We've got something really great prepared for you. Come back at this time. And you're like, well, I'm working I can't come at 10 a.m. I have a job. No, but we're gonna do it there. And if you don't come at that time, you're never gonna be able to come again. Okay, I guess I won't come.
I guess I'll go somewhere else, right? Yeah. You'd probably leave calling that manager an idiot.
Yeah.
And that's what, honestly, I realized that we were doing with webinars. We were trying to get people to sign up, but we were saying, come back later. Oh, well, you're interested now? Too bad. We don't have nothing for you now. So that's why I originally developed Autonars, because it just made sense to always have a pre-made, ready presentation for people who are there. They're there. They're ready. Give it to them. I let it run evergreen. That's why I originally created it. But as we were building Autonars, I started thinking more about people that are maybe a little bit newer than I am, a little bit less experienced, just getting started with their business. And I started remembering back to the problems that I had when I was first starting webinars. One of the big problems that I had when I first started doing webinars And now I know how profitable they are. But at the time, I had this huge problem, and that was I was nervous. I was really scared to make webinars. I remember when you and I started doing them, I wouldn't even talk half the time unless you like made me talk. Uh, I remember when even before I started working with you, I tried to do it. The very first time I tried to do a webinar, I actually had people come. There was like 50 people came to the webinar, which was a lot for me at the time. I had about 50 people coming to the webinar, and I said, "Hey guys, thanks for," and that was it. I just froze. Like I wanted to speak and I couldn't. I was so scared and I was so nervous that I closed the software down. I shut it down in the middle of the webinar, sent everybody an email, said, "Oh, sorry, my computer crashed, guys," and then I made a video and gave them a video.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, there's a lot of things. Like, I mean, you're not the only one there when it comes to being scared about doing webinars. Even, I mean, you and I have done a ton of them now, and usually when we do them, I kind of take the lead on them. But for anyone that's been to any of our webinars before, you probably would be surprised to know that I haven't been doing them that long, and I was also really scared the first time I did one. For me, it was like, oh my, like, I knew I needed to do webinars. I knew that they were really profitable. They're good for selling. They're good for building rapport and relationships and answering questions and having a good kind of connection to your customers. But like you said, there's the nerves that get involved with it. It's definitely one of those things that like you're like, okay, it's profitable, but is it worth it when I can just do a regular video instead?
absolutely. So I mean, I started thinking after we built this system, after we built Autonars to solve for us, which was a lot of logistics and tech problems, which is what we wanted to solve initially. I realized that it actually had a potential for people just getting started, because now they don't have to make these live presentations. Now they don't have to try to get people to come at a very specific time. They can always have a presentation for people whenever they want it, and they don't actually have to do it live. And I specifically built Autonars to give people the webinar experience. So when you're actually on an Autonar, and I'll show you, I'm assuming you're going to want me to do a demo later, but when you're actually on an Autonar, it is a pre-recorded video, but you can't tell. There's no pause, there's no play, you can't click the video, you can't, you can't, like a regular video people use YouTube, you can go over to YouTube and it shows the YouTube logo. It doesn't do any of that. For all intent and purposes, it looks live. It even has live questions and answers. So you can actually ask people on your webinar, or on your Autonar, can actually ask you a question and you can answer them live from your mobile device if you want to.
If I can interject here, I'm excited too here. Where with this kind of a thing, someone might be going like, well, what's the difference between doing like an Autonar and just sending someone a link to a video? And you kind of answered that question saying that like it looks like it's a live video. You can't, they can't fast forward, they can't pause it. They have to be there and they have to actually watch it. We'll show that to you guys in a little bit here. But the reason I bring that up is because a lot of this stuff, I kind of think about my own experiences. And you talked earlier about how we create software and solutions that relate to our own problems that we've had, our own experiences. Well, one experience that I've had is that I've signed up for webinars and I've actually stayed up because I live overseas in Europe. A lot of times my time for watching these webinars, and I'm sure there's some people watching right now who've had the same experience, it's not necessarily at a good time for you. So you have, like, I have stayed up till like 2 in the morning, 5 in the morning watching these webinars. And it's just amazing that if you were to send me a link to a YouTube video and you're like, hey Mike, go watch this presentation that we did, I'd be like, okay, cool. I'd probably get it, put it on my computer. It would go up into all my little tabs. It would sit there for a while. Maybe I would watch it, but probably it would end up getting closed when I restarted my computer in a few days. The power of these webinars or Autonars where you make it appear like a webinar is that you actually have to watch it. You stay up until these hours of the night to watch it. You actually will sit there at your computer and you can't like go anywhere. You can't not do anything. And it might sound like, okay, you're forcing people to do this, but if your message that you're sending them and if you're teaching them good stuff and the stuff that you're selling them actually solves their problem, then you're actually doing them a service for it.
Yeah, what you're talking about, Mike, is actually scarcity. Yeah. You're talking about a form of scarcity. When I give you a video or I give you a presentation in a video or I record it, whether it's on a sales page, on YouTube, wherever, and I say, here you go, check this out, you're going to love what I have for you. You now have the option. You can watch it whenever you want. And we know that things that you're going to do tomorrow never happen because tomorrow never comes. It's always today by the time you get there. Okay? So when you do something like a live webinar or like an Autonar, and incidentally, if people leave an Autonar and then come back to it, it actually comes back to as if it was continuously playing when they were gone. Okay. So it'll pick up like as if they had missed some of it. So that is part of giving them the webinar experience. But when you do a live webinar or an Autonar, there's built-in scarcity. You're saying to them, look, this is happening right now, with or without you. If you don't sit here and watch this, you will miss it. That's built-in scarcity, and that's why they work so well. They can't say, oh, I'm going to check this out later after I get done making this Facebook post, after I get done watching this YouTube video. It's either you watch it now and you pay attention or you miss out. That's why they work so well.
I've got a few more questions for you. It's a little hard for me to ask you questions on this one because I know a lot of the answers when it comes to them. But if maybe bring us in, Brett, if you want to kind of show us behind the scenes here, and I'm sure a lot of these questions will come up.
Yeah, I want to show you a feature I didn't talk about yet that I think that people just getting started are really going to love, because as you know, we tried to enhance it as well to even really help people that are just getting started. So I'm excited to show you that anyway too. So let me go ahead and share my screens. It's kind of funny. I say I'm excited to show you, but you've already seen it because you told me.
Well, you can refresh my memory on it.
All right, so in case you've never seen it before, Mike, this is the Autonars dashboard.
Oh, wow, that looks really good, Brett.
Yeah. So this is actually the Autonars dashboard. So the very first thing, and I'm going to get right into the thing that I really think that people are going to like. Oh, sorry, there's a motorcycle going by. I'm going to get right into the thing that I think people are really going to like. So the first thing that I would actually suggest people do is go over here and click on this links button. Because one of the things that I also realized when I realized that this could be a very powerful tool for people just getting started is I realized that people just getting started also don't know how to make presentations. It's one thing to be nervous. And that's something you can get over. But you also have to know how to make presentations. You need to know how to write webinars and present webinars and do them the right way. So, and you know, because we did this together, we went ahead and created pre-made webinars for people. So now people can sell products that get them 100% commissions with the webinars that we made for them. So it becomes a real done-for-you system. So the first thing I would actually suggest that people do is go over here and click on the link section. Now, depending on the level of Autonars you have, you're going to see between 2 and 6 links here, buttons here. You go ahead and you click on these buttons. It'll take you over to JVZoo, and you can click to get an affiliate link for these particular products. And I want you to notice this commission here, Mike, 100%. So you can actually sell these products that are right here in Autonars. Again, you'll see more or less depending on the level you have. Again, 100% of the commissions on products you never had to create, host, update, support, or any of that stuff. You get all the money. So now that you have all your links approved, the thing that I would suggest people do is go over here to webinars, click on create new. I'm going to go ahead and enter a name. I'm just going to call this a demo.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to call it Mike.
Yeah, sorry. Well, we can edit it then. We can click on the name and edit it if we want. Once you create your webinar, go ahead and click on edit. Now, again, as I said, I originally created Autonars for my systems, for my use, so I can put in my webinars and have them be evergreen. And you could certainly do that. If you have your own webinar, you want to create your own, or you want to promote different products, you can go ahead and fill in these settings. I think they're very self-explanatory. And if you have a question, you can just mouse over this little question box, and you can create your own Autonar, your own evergreen webinar. That's perfectly fine to do. But people just getting started, they're going to want to use the done-for-you webinars. They're going to want to sell my software, get 100% commissions, not have to do any of the work. So to do that, all they need to do is go ahead and click on Load Pre-Made Webinar. Select from the drop-down box the product that they want to promote. Let's say we're going to promote Review Wizard. Click on Load Webinar Settings, and it fills everything in for them. Everything is now done for them. The only single step you have to do is go over here to Main Settings, and you can see where it says Video and Redirect. So this way, when the webinar ends, you want to redirect them automatically to the product you're promoting. I mean, you don't want them just sitting there saying, okay, now what? You want to automatically redirect them. Go ahead and enter in your affiliate link in the Video and Redirect, and your affiliate link in the Call to Action button URL, which is right here. Just paste your affiliate link right in there, click on Save and Exit, and you now have a done-for-you webinar to promote a product that you didn't even have to make, update, or support, but you get all the money.
I wish I had that. I wish someone had done those webinars for us.
Yeah. So yeah, I really think that's like how when I first started, I said how it evolved. It started as a tool for people doing webinars, and it evolved into a done-for-you system for people just getting started. And I like that. I like how we can work together and make it more than my original vision. And that's what it's become. It's become an automated webinar platform for people who are just getting started, that really need that little extra push, that really need things a little more done for them.
And I want to point out as well that, I mean, this has the done for you system in it. If you are more advanced, you can use it with your own. If you're doing webinars yourself, if you are a more advanced marketer, then you can use this for your own stuff. But of course, we want to make this for newer people as well, and that's why we've included the done for you. I think that's what makes this really special, is that it's not just another auto webinar platform, because let's face it, there are other ones out there. This is the only one that I know of that actually includes a complete done-for-you system inside of it. Brett, can you actually show us, I think this is really neat, can you show us some of the actual links to some, and kind of how they look and how they work, etc.?
Yeah, so when you're in your main dashboard, you can actually click on Get Links, and there's 3 links. So your first link is your webinar sign-up URL. So your webinar sign-up URL is where people are going to sign up for your Autonar. Go ahead and we'll open that in a new tab here. And you can see it's completely done for you. It's got the video that I created, getting people to opt into the webinar. It's got the headline, the button. Notice the timer, 2 minutes and 13 seconds. It's deliberately not come back a week later, because you want people to see this, and you want them to watch this video, and you want them to click on this, and you want them to be like, yes, I'm ready to see this now, not I'm ready to see this now, oh darn, I have to schedule time next week.
Yeah, and I love that the scarcity is there to make them watch it now, and to actually, as you guys are going to see in a minute, to actually make them commit and stay there and actually watch it, because it seems like it's live.
Absolutely, yeah. And this video here, this presentation video, which is to get them to opt in to sign up for the Autonar, you can actually set that to. This is one of the things that the beta testers asked for. You can set that to autoplay or not autoplay. That way, if you're going to run Facebook ads or anything to it, you can have it not autoplay and still be Facebook compliant. So let me go ahead.
As far as changing stuff on this page, Brett, like the text, what is changeable and what isn't?
Okay, so you can go ahead and you can change all of the text. You can change the button text. You can change this background color. You can change the texture in the background. You can change the video. You can change the timer, and that's all. We can change this text as well. So you can change the text and the color. You can change the text, the color, and the look in this game. This is fully mobile responsive. If I actually go ahead and, I don't know if we can see me resizing my browser.
Yep.
It's mobile responsive, so it will work on a mobile device, and also the actual webinar itself will work on a mobile device as well. It's fully responsive, but you can change the text and layout and stuff. At one point I wanted to make this drag and drop, so you can drag and drop it and like really change it, but then it wouldn't be mobile responsive because I have no idea what you're going to drag and drop. So we opted for a more simple layout that's mobile responsive. Mobile is very important. I didn't want to leave that out. That's something a lot of platforms do. They just ignore mobile.
Okay. So what happens when you go ahead and opt in?
Let me go ahead and opt in here. All right, so now you can see it actually says there's 13 seconds left, so I'll go ahead and register, and it's going to go ahead and it's going to ask me to wait the 13 seconds because it hasn't started yet, even though it actually runs evergreen. You got to keep that illusion going. So if we go ahead and just wait these few seconds, the Autonar will go ahead and start playing. You can see it says it's connected to the webinar. It looks like it's loading up. And I actually spent a lot of time. I can't pause this.
Oh, there you
I'm going to go ahead and pause the audio inside of my browser because I can't pause this. I actually spent a lot of time really trying to tweak it so it looks like it's actually loading it, so it really gives the impression of being live. For example, when it's loading there, the audio starts just a second before the video starts because that's kind of what happens normally on webinars.
And you guys can't hear it right now, but it's actually behind the scenes there. I'm actually talking. Like there's the webinar starting there. It's actually playing.
Yeah, I have my browser audio paused. I had to pause the audio in my browser itself because I can't pause the video. I can't play it or pause it. You know, there's no video branding or anything here. You can't not tell that this is not live. And if I actually leave and come back, it will continue to play as if I missed some of it.
And it looks like there are attendees there as well.
Yeah, that's actually one of the features I put in there. You can do what's called fake attendees or simulated attendees. It's basically fake attendees, but I called it simulated attendees because I didn't want to use the word fake. So you can go ahead and put in that for a little bit more credibility. I mean, you don't want to like present it as a live webinar and then there be the only one there because that just looks silly. You know what I mean? So you can go ahead and put it and simulate it, and you'll notice that this will actually change too. So if you set it to like 40 simulated attendees, as people are watching the webinar, it will change. It will go up and down, so that way it looks like there's real people coming and going and stuff.
That's neat. I didn't know that. I learned something new. I didn't know that you had it kind of going up and down.
That was actually a beta tester's suggestion. He actually said to me, and that's one of the things that I do. You know I do it. Mm-hmm. So people watching this might not. I really beta test the heck out of my software before I release it. And a beta tester actually suggested that. He's like, there's always exactly the same number of people through the whole presentation. Nobody ever leaves. I was like, well, we'll go ahead and fix that.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, and then once people are done here, now it is a timed, so we really can't see it. But at the set time, there will be a call to action button will pop up, and it's set to coincidentally coincide with the point where you or I say, click the button to buy, and then the button will pop up where they can go ahead and buy. That will, of course, be people's affiliate link. And then also, once the entire video is over, once it is ended, the Autonar has ended, people will automatically get redirected through the affiliate link as well. So that way, it doesn't just close and say, thanks for coming. It closes, you say, thanks for coming, guys. And then boom, auto redirect. You're on the sales page.
Explain about the question and answer, because I think that's pretty cool.
There's actually two ways of doing question and answer. I'm going to go back over here to the members dashboard here real quick. There's actually two ways of doing question and answer. This comes back again to giving people the experience. I didn't want to build Autonars to trick people. Mm-hmm. I didn't want it to be like a trick thing, like I'm going to trick you into pretending that it's not a video. What I wanted to do is give people the experience of it being a live webinar. And if you actually go here, I'm going to go ahead and edit webinar here. I go to main settings. And you can see there's a question email and there's a question and answer type. The normal way that these automated webinar platforms handle questions, that's a big thing about webinars too. People can ask questions. It's an important thing. You can't ask a question of a YouTube video. Excuse me for 1 second.
You okay over there?
Yeah, you might want to edit that part out.
No one leave it in for authenticity.
Okay. But the normal way, people that have built these other automated webinar platforms handle questions is they'll type in your question, and then a pop-up will come and say, your question has been sent to the presenter. You will get an email shortly. Okay, that's stupid. Okay, imagine go back to our car salesman scenario. You're in there, you're talking to the car salesman, you say, well, I got a question about this car. And he says, okay, well, go home, I'll email you later.
You're like, but I want to know now.
I want an answer now. I'm here now. You're trying to sell to me now. I want an answer now. I don't want to go home and you call me later. It breaks the whole illusion, too, of it being a live webinar. Once you ever see that, if you're ever on something, you don't know if it's live, ask a question. If you get a pop-up that says, we'll email you later, they ain't there.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why they're not answering you right away. So what actually I did was I put that option in. You want to go ahead and handle them email, that's fine. You can handle them email. But I also have what's called live answers. So if somebody types a question, it will actually email you. Okay, and what I do is I use the Gmail app on my phone. I do have my phone. I use the Gmail app on my phone, so that way the email comes to my phone. All right? Mm-hmm. And then when I reply to the email that comes to my phone, it goes live to them in the Autonar, so they get an answer right away built into the system. It pops up their answer.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Why don't you put in, for the question email, why don't you put in my email, and if you ask a question, and I'll reply back to you. Would that work?
Yeah. What's your email address here?
It is Mike from Maine. Oh, there we go.
We'll do live.
And also, you can explain the smart question. Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. I'll explain the smart questioning too if you want me to show you that real quick. Sure. So one of the things when I built that system, one of the things that I noticed was people were typing in little questions and answers inside of the chat. So like at one point we would be doing a webinar, we'd be like, does that make sense? And people would type in yes.
Or I'd say, yeah, if this excites you, like say put a yes, put a Y in the chat box right now. And like you get all these people saying yes, why.
Right. So then I was getting all those things on my phone. People were saying yes. And at first I was like, oh, it's so awesome. People are interacting with my Autonars. It's great. And then I was like, shut up. Stop it.
You're like, Mike, why does Mike have to ask people to say those?
I'm trying to watch a movie. Leave me alone. You know what I mean? And it was irrelevant. I mean, honestly, it's not that I was glad that people were interacting. I was glad that the system was working, but it was irrelevant for me. I didn't need to get those messages. So what I did was I put in this smart question and question filtering. That way, if people put in a question that's less than 3 words, it will filter that out if you have it turned on, so you don't get those emails. And so let me go ahead and save this. I'll go ahead and turn this off. We'll save it. And I'm going to have to refresh the Autonar here.
We're going to put it to the test.
Let's go ahead and we'll put it to the test, Mike. You're going to put me on the spot here. You didn't tell me you were going to.
I know. I like to make sure that your software isn't all buggy.
What? Software that's... Come on, Mike.
We'll see. We'll see if it actually works. Ask me a question.
All right.
Okay, so you ask the question, and it goes off away. I'm going to check my inbox here. See if I get an email from Brady Brett. Brett's software doesn't work.
Doesn't it? You didn't get the email?
Let's see.
You know you have to edit this video now, Mike.
Let's see. Nope.
You didn't get the email?
So make sure you put the right email in. Go back. Mike@MikeFromMaine.com. Try michaelrthomas@gmail.com.
Oh, yeah, you're checking Gmail. I didn't send it to your Gmail account. Man, you're making me nervous, dude. You just gave me a heart attack. I'm like, oh, my God. I had to check something. What is it, Michael?
Oh, no, I got it. It came through.
Oh, forward to your Gmail. Okay.
No, so it got forwarded through. Okay.
Okay. Now go ahead and answer
it. Scary.
All right, you gave me a heart attack.
On this. Okay, so I got the question on my end, everyone. I'm not going to show you the screen, guys, because it just says webinar number, and it says the number of the webinar in question, and it just says it's from questions@autonars.com. So it's giving me the email address, so I know who you are. It says your email, Brett, and I assume that's the email that you put in when you subscribe to Autonars. And to answer this question, it says visit, and it has a link there. So I'm going to click on that link. I'm clicking on it, and I'm going to answer back. Yes, Brett, I am there. Okay, I'm going to hit send. I just hit send answer back to Brett, and let's see what happens here.
It'll take about 30 seconds for the system to pick it up.
Okay, so your system's going through there, and of course, since what I'm assuming is that you've got your system checking every 30 seconds for messages. Is that how the software works? Yeah,
it checks every 30 seconds, because if it checked every, say, 2 seconds or 3 seconds, that would be too much system load. So it checks every 30 seconds.
Okay, so I've answered that. You're going to keep on watching this like you normally would, because, I mean, if you think about it...
There's the answer.
Oh, your question has been answered. Yes, Mike, I'm there. What's it say?
What theme do you use?
Oh.
God, you're a joke.
That's an inside joke with Brett and I. Everyone always asks him what theme he uses. Very cool. Love that. And one thing I want to note as well here, guys, is that there's an option there. Like, what happens, Brett, if I'm sleeping and you have it set it live? What happens there? And I go to answer that question, and you're not on the call anymore. What happens there?
Well, that's why, now you didn't show your screen, but when you got the email, that's why it has the person's email in. So if you go ahead and you check your inbox and you see that a question was asked 7 hours ago, well, they're probably not still sitting here watching the webinar. Mm-hmm. So now you have their email, and you can say, hey, sorry, I was really busy with the presentation. Let me answer your question now.
Love it. Very cool. Love putting you on the spot. This is fun. Okay.
You made me nervous. I was like scared. I was like, I've got 200,000 lines of code to rip through.
Okay, now that Brett's had a heart attack today, And now that we know that the software actually works, I'm Brett's biggest beta tester. Brett, bring us through. Okay, so that's how the simulated live looks.
Yeah, it was very, like I said, again, it was very important for me to be able to give people that experience, to give people the experience of a live webinar without actually needing to be there. Because again, it's hard to be on the webinar all the time because of time zones and stuff. And then that was my main thing. I wanted to be able to do these evergreen presentations, give everybody all the experience, a perfect presentation every time, still be able to answer questions, do all the things I could do on the webinars. But again, the thing that I think that people who are just getting started are really going to find useful is the fact that we did these pre-made webinars for them. So now they can go ahead and they can sell products, and they don't need to worry about learning how to sell, learning how to build webinars, because we know how to do webinars. I mean, we make a lot of money with webinars, and we've done all of this for them. So they can kind of like tap into our experience and our ability in this field and use it to make them money and build their list.
And guys, there's a ton of other features as well with this. We're not going to go through everything today, but there are direct links. Like you can make it so that if you don't want people to actually have to put in their email address, you can send them directly to the webinar, to the Autonar link there. So you don't necessarily have to send them there. Of course, if you do that, though, you're not going to be able to answer questions, I believe, because you won't have their email. Is that correct? Like, if you want to be able to answer their questions like live and email them back, you have to have them register.
Right. Yeah. You can actually send them to the replay, and there is a replay page as well. I didn't show that. I apologize. But you can send them to the replay page, and that actually has just a normal contact form. And the reason that doesn't have the live is because in the replay page, you're not pretending that it's not live. You're saying it's a replay. So why not just have a regular email form? So yeah, you can do that as well if you want.
I was going to ask you a question before you stopped sharing your screen. How much is a pot of gold worth, Brett?
A pot of gold?
You had that in your search bar. You would search how much is a pot of gold. Worth.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was wondering if you'd figured out how much a pot of gold was worth.
Wow, aren't you Mr. Observant?
Oh, I was thinking people must have seen that were watching.
I actually, I'm such a nerd. I was talking to a guy, and I was trying to get people motivated in my Facebook group, and I was like, look, I was trying to use an analogy, and I said, if you knew there was a pot of gold in your backyard, you'd be out back digging holes. Mm-hmm. I said, well, there's a pot of gold online, so start digging, take action, right?
Yeah.
So then I was thinking about that, and I was like, I wonder how much a pot of gold is worth. So I'm Googling.
I think it would probably depend on how big the pot is.
Yes, it was. I actually found $1.25 million, assuming the pot is 3 liters.
Yes. That's. If you guys learn anything today on this call, you've learned how much a pot of gold is worth.
Yes, I admit it. I'm a big nerd, and I actually spend my time looking stupid things like that up.
I love throwing Brett off on these interviews. Brett, back to the topic here. One objection that I could hear people saying when they see this, they're like, okay, guys, you are big internet marketers. You're making hundreds of thousands of dollars per year, doing millions in sales. You've got email lists. You've got ways of getting traffic. So how does the beginner person, so someone that wants to pick this up and use the done-for-you webinars, they're excited about having the done-for-you products, not having to create a product. They don't have to create a webinar. They've got the software all set up for them. As you guys saw, it's cloud-based. You don't need to have hosting or domain name or anything to go with it. How do they get traffic to that?
Well, I've actually thought about that. The first thing I want to say is I just want to say this. Because I hear that a lot of times. People will be like, "Well, Brett, you're established, and you're established, and you've got experience and stuff." And what I say to people always, I'll get into something more detailed and a little more positive. But what I say to people always, though, is I wasn't always established. You weren't established, and I wasn't established, and neither was anybody else. If you pick any expert in any field, they were all newbies at one point, and they didn't let the fact that they were newbies stop them. So don't you either. Okay. So that's the first thing I want to just get out of the way. The second thing I want to say is that we thought about that. We thought about, okay, well, that's great to say, don't let being a newbie stop you, but you still have to empower people. You have to give them the tools. So what I did was I included my group traffic profits system as well. So anybody who picks up Autonars also gets my group traffic profits. Traffic Profits is a system that teaches how I built up my Facebook group and how I use my Facebook group to get tons of traffic. And that's not an exaggeration. I've actually gone to the point where I get 2, 3, 400 clicks at will from my Facebook group anytime I want. And the reason I think that group traffic profits, and particularly Facebook groups, is going to be good for the newbies. I hate that term. It sounds horrible, but it is an accurate term. For the people just starting their business, I think it's going to be good for them, is because Facebook groups are free. It costs absolutely nothing to have one, to start one, to run one. It's a completely free system. So I thought that would be an ideal traffic source for people just getting going. And Group Traffic Profits explains exactly how to emulate what I've done with Facebook groups.
And for anyone worried about traffic, I mean, if you don't have a ton of traffic right now, if you have like very little and you're just kind of building your way up, and you build a Facebook group, or you've got a little email list, or you have a little bit of money to buy some paid traffic, or you're doing SEO and you're getting a little bit of traffic in, well, your problem isn't going to be how much traffic you have. It's going to be how good are your conversions with the traffic. And that's why webinars are so amazing, is you can send the same amount of traffic to a sales page and to a webinar, and the webinar is going to convert much higher, because people that go through a webinar, it's like Brett is great with these analogies. He always has great analogies for us. But like if you think about someone who goes to a like a conference, and they sit down and they watch these presentations, and people are showing them everything and have all these slides and are showing them examples, and they're like actually sitting there and understanding what they're going to potentially be buying, they're going to be much more likely to purchase it than someone that just gets sent just like an advertisement that's put in front of them, and they're like, okay, I don't want that, and they go the other way. Do you have a better example? You're always much better than I am at these.
Well, yeah, I mean, just think about it. It's the reason why interviews work, honestly, because we take the time to explain it. We take the time to answer any questions they have. People are just going to buy better. I mean, if I went and I said, hey, I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to explain to you how this works and how it's going to help your business, I'm going to answer any of your questions, which is going to work better if I say that, or I say, I'm going to send you a DVD with a recording of me talking.
And the whole thing about answering questions is really important as well, Brett, because people are actually able, like they might have a little question about something. Like you go back to your car dealership thing, and like if you go into a car dealership and you want to just ask a question like, how much mileage does it get? And you just want to know the answer to that, and they're going to give you the answer. Go, okay, that's good. Like maybe it's not even important. Maybe you're not even going to understand like what the actual answer is. Maybe you just think that someone told you that something's supposed to be some way, and you just want to make sure that it's actually like that. They answer the question. They've actually like helped you out, and you're going to be much more likely. Again, back to like reciprocity and psychological triggers. You're going to be much more likely to buy from them. It's like perfect example. This is a real life example. I was telling Brett about this before we got started. We just bought a nice couch today. I'm not going to tell you how much it was because it's way too expensive, but we bought a couch today, and we went into the showroom and with my wife and her mom, and because I can't pick out couches, and we're going in there, and a lady helped us to pick it out, and we purchased it. And my wife, on the way home in the car, she was saying to herself, I really feel really bad because the woman that helped us out the first time, she was there, but she's not going to get the commission for it. I feel really bad about it because, and the reason why she felt like that is because that person had actually helped her. She had answered questions for her. Again, back to the whole sales experience, back to the fact that you're going to be more likely to want to buy from people that actually help you, and it's going to seem like they actually care about your business.
Yeah, it's the same reason I eat at the same diner every morning, because I go in and the cook says, hey, Brad, how you doing this morning? Same reason.
Yeah, and you like that.
It's not because he's got the best eggs in the world. I mean, they're just eggs.
Yeah, and you like that attention. And if you have a question about those eggs, he'll answer them for you.
Absolutely. So that's actually why I spend so much time on the Q&A part and having it be able to do live like that, because I know how important that is. And you know, you were saying about traffic, though. I don't really want to talk about it too much, because sometimes when you say paid ads, it gets people nervous. But nobody in the world has a traffic problem. I hear this a lot. People just getting started to say, I can't get traffic. Look, you can get traffic. Facebook will give you all the traffic you can eat. Okay? If you want $1 million worth of traffic, Facebook will give it to you in a week. Okay? You can get all the traffic you want. It's not a traffic problem. People have an offer problem. They don't have a good presentation. They don't have a high converting funnel. They don't have a product that people are going to want to buy. Or a lot of times people will try to do paid ads to affiliate products, and they're not building their email list, and they're only getting half the money. All those things are solved with Autonars because you've gotten professionally designed webinars that can webinars not only convert better, but they're done by people who make a lot of money with webinars. You've got products that are proven to sell. You've got 100% commission. So you're not splitting the money with somebody else. You're getting it all. So, I mean, even if you wanted to use paid ads and send traffic to it via paid ads, if you wanted to go that route, remember, the problem you have isn't traffic. The problem is that you didn't have a good offer before. When you have a good offer, well, if you could spend 50 cents on traffic and make 70 cents, why wouldn't you do that all day long? Imagine putting the 52 quarters in a machine and 3 quarters come out. You wouldn't say you had a problem with traffic. You'd say, I have a problem not being able to put the quarters in fast enough.
I wish I had that. I wish I had that problem. I don't know why, it reminds me of that machine at the fair. I don't know if you've ever seen it with like the quarters on the shelf and you put the quarters in. I just want to shake that machine when I see it. Okay, so to kind of recap, everyone, we'll wrap this up here pretty shortly. Inside of Autonars, what exactly you're going to get? You're going to get access to the software. So that's a cloud-based software. It's if you get it during the launch period, it's going to be a one-time payment for that. Also, you get the 2 done-for-you webinars with the products that you get approved for to promote. You get 100% commissions on those. And you get access to our group traffic profits training as a special bonus during the launch period, so that you can learn how to get free traffic with that. So, I mean, that's the product here. We think that it can really help you guys out. We think that it's all done for you. It's pretty much the most done for you webinar system that I have ever seen out there. But of course, we want to talk a little bit about the OTOs because we are 100% open about that. We do have upgrades to this. So I'm going to go ahead, Brett, if you don't mind. I'm going to talk about the first one here. The first one that we've got here is 4 more done-for-you webinars. So you get 4 more, plus you get the developer rights with this, meaning that you can go out there and you can take your clients and actually charge them to use the software for their webinar campaign. So if you've got anyone out there that is doing webinars, or you think that they should be doing webinars, and you want to show them the power of it, you can now have them do let's say they have a presentation that they've done, or you can get them to do one presentation one time, record a video. They don't even have to actually do a webinar. They could actually just record a video. You can pop it into Autonars and then get that running for them and charge them a monthly fee to run this for them. So it's a really powerful upgrade. You're going to get 100% commissions on all these other 4 done-for-you webinars with it, and this is an upgrade for you there. Anything else that I missed on that one, Brett?
No, that's the upgrade, the first upgrade. Yep. Okay,
that's the first one. The second upgrade that we have for you is that we know how to go out there and how to make money with webinars and Autonars, and we want to teach you more of our tactics, give you more of a training, give you a live 4-week training behind the scenes of exactly how we go out there and do this. In this 4-week live training, we're going to teach you how we go out there and we get traffic to our webinars. We're going to teach you how to get traffic that will actually buy the products that you are selling. We're going to teach you how to get hidden Autonars, and this is actually a really cool strategy that we use, that you can go out there and actually find webinars that other people have done and use them yourself to make money with. We're also going to teach you how to build an email list. This is one of the most powerful parts about this, because you can actually build an email list and make money at the same time if you use the strategies that we teach you. And we're also going to take you to the next level and even teach you, for those of you out there that want to get a little bit more advanced with this and understand the power of webinars, we're going to teach you how you can actually go out there and start monetizing other people's products and go out there and actually make even more money with this and do some little next level stuff with this as well. So we're really excited about this. This is a training that we should be charging thousands of dollars for, but it's going to be really, really cheap. It's going to be a one-time payment, and it's going to be something that you're not going to want to miss out on. And the last one, Brett, I'll let you explain. This is kind of something close to home for you?
Yeah, the last one is my baby. I think it's my agency access, and I say that's a proprietary system, but it's not like I have it patented or anything. But I am the only one that does it. Agency access is actually a system that I developed a while back, and I've done it with several of my products that allows my customers to sell my products as their own. And that's important. It's as their own, so they can actually create their own JVZoo buy now button, fill it in the settings inside the software, and it will actually show on my sales page. So they can sell Autonars as their own product. This way, they can give the value of Autonars to other people, but make money and build their list. They can actually make all of the money. They can even attract their own affiliates to promote their product, which is actually my product. It's just so exciting getting people to do that. Like they can get their own affiliates to make the sales for them, just like I do as well. And the reason I did that, and the reason I started doing that, is because I realized that it's very profitable to sell digital products. It's very profitable to sell software. And I also realized that I have an advantage. I'm a software developer. Well, now you can sell my software. You have the same advantage that I have.
So that's the agency license there. Again, to pick up the agency, just so you guys all know, you do need to pick up the offer on the sales page in order to get the agency license there. So it is an upgrade. All those are upgrades to go along with the Autonars system. Everything is optional there. We don't want to make it so you have to get things to make it all work. But they are definitely good for people that are going to want to pick them up and take this to the next level. But again, we don't want to make you feel like you're forced to pick up anything here. So, Brett, anything else? Anything that we missed? Anything that you wanted to mention before we wrap it up?
Yeah. No, I was actually going to give my pot of gold analogy again, but I think I was embarrassed enough by you having me see that I was looking it up and seeing how much it's worth. So I will just say thanks to everybody for watching.
Go out and find your pot of gold. Again, Brett, thank you so much for coming on the show today, and best of luck with our launch.
Hey, thanks for having me, Mike.
I hope you enjoyed the interview today with Brett. If you are interested in picking up Autonars at its lowest price, you're going to want to come back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, June 15th. You're going to be able to get it at its lowest early bird price, along with all the bonuses listed on the page. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.